Hello, this is Wendy Diaz-Wilson, and today I'm going to be just quickly going over some of the updates from the past week and a half. So, from the last meeting, the goal for this past time was to actually get the project from a prototype design in Figma to actually functioning as a coded application. And so that has been the heavy hitter, trying to get that to work, as well as start making like little designs of what like a partner matching view would look like, and seeing how we would display whys to get users connected to other ones that have similar goals to them. So these are the prototypes that I had made in Figma, and from here, some of the things that I started to do is I worked in Claude to kind of help me figure out how I can best start to get this programmed. So I'll just bring over real quick what I was doing in Claude. So the awesome thing about this is it was able to take my existing screens in Figma, so it used the Claude Code plugin for MCP, so directly connects the exact design data, so my layers, my color, my spacing, my typography, my components, etc. And I was able to connect them and then completely provide these links. And the way I did that is I had to put this, instead of design mode, I put this in developer mode, and then you would essentially select your screen, and then you would share it and you would provide it to Claude, and then it would go through. I had to do something else to basically connect it to my laptop's terminal, where it would directly code it and add it into what's called Expo Go, which I didn't know what that was prior to this, but it's basically an open source framework that works with React Native. So that's supposed to help me, I believe, make applications not just in iOS, but they also work on Android. And the language I'm using is JavaScript, and then the framework is also React Native. Just Expo Go is the tool. So I will try and bring up my screen real quick to show. Hold on, let me back up in the blank space. So right now this is my iPhone. I'm mirroring it directly onto my Mac real quick. So here's the Expo Go app. So we're gonna just go in right now, and right now this is where the app is being held and built. So we'll just go in here and it's downloading. So as you can see, this is extremely similar to the exact designs that I had made in Figma. Some of the difficult things is them directly taking like some of my icons, which these are things I'm not particularly worried about yet. I can go back in and edit, some of these little placeholder things, especially because the next week's goal is focusing, more on the avatar, the artwork, and really adding to and refining what I've already done. So again, this is like the front page where you can add a goal, view your chats. This is where the buddies portion is. So we'll just kind of go in and add a goal real quick. So say for instance, I want to learn how to speak Spanish. How will you measure that progress towards this goal? Being able to hold a conversation with a fluent Spanish speaker. What steps will you take to reach this goal? I will study on Duolingo for let's say 15 minutes a day. That's more realistic. 15 minutes a day. So let's continue that. Why is this goal important to you? I want to be able to speak Spanish to my grandma who knows little English. And this is coming up a little bit differently through the mirroring versus it would on my phone. For instance, if this was directly on my phone, what actually pops up is the text the keyboard down at the bottom instead. So the view is slightly different, but this is still my phone that it is mirroring and functioning in. So where are you currently with this goal? I know basic Spanish. I know basic Spanish. I guess that it can be appropriate. So how will achieving this goal make a difference in your life? I will be able to connect with my grandma better. Let's see. So we'll continue. When would you like to achieve this? Today's the 7th. So let's say, let's give ourselves 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Let's give ourselves, 6 months for the new year. So done. Milestones. Here I'm going to go through and edit this eventually. So this is not what I want right now. It's currently expecting the user to kind of go through and fill out the milestones. And if you recall, one of my plans is to actually get Claude. I created Claude rules to basically break down creating milestones for the users based off of their input. And so this will be changed eventually. But we'll just put something random for now. Milestones, learn 10 new words a week. To say 3 new sentences every 2 weeks. Which I don't know if this is truly accurate for language. I'm just kind of writing something just to quickly create a goal. So perfect. So the goal is set. Time to connect with others with similar goals. As you can see, this view is also different from what I had created in Figma. A lot of the imagery and pictures it couldn't directly take unless I, put in a PNG, for example, which again, I'm just focusing on having the placeholders. We want to get, the ant through the tunnel. So I haven't placed any pictures, so throughout this you're going to see, just blank placeholders, which seem very bland, but the hard part was getting this to actually function, and now I'm so glad it is. So find partner. Okay, so now, there's no matches yet for this one, but this is how I kind of have it so far. So say, for instance, the user has multiple goals, Unfortunately, this is not sliding through the laptop, but on my iPhone, these actually slide to display the multiple goals. So I'll just put all goals, for instance. And they basically have, all these different people with all these goals. And I'm still working on exactly how I would want this to look. Again, this looks very bland, a lot of placeholders. But trying to see how I would want users to look, sending that request, being able to view their profile, which we can't yet, so coming soon, and also maybe being able to directly message some of these people that maybe you have connected with, sending that request, and then I'm going to go through and try to differentiate who truly is the top match. Is considering, should I do percentages, since it is going to be hopefully a AI is directing how they're finding who connects best to everybody. So right here it's kind of their goals, what's their goal, what's their motivation, which is supposed to represent the why of the user, and so that's kind of the view of this. And so let's go to, we can go to messages, for instance. So this user, they haven't messaged them yet, so we can go into our chats, and here we have it where maybe you would want to message Morgan if you had her as a new friend. Here's your half marathon runners, for instance. Just being able to chat with other people as well. And I think if it's a blank message yet, no messages yet, say hi. So it's kind of where I'm at. There's no settings yet. Explore Buddies is still under refinement. Oops. Let's see if I can reconnect my phone real quick. Okay, so let's go back to the home page. Okay, so now that we added, it's being able to speak Spanish, it's right here on the first page along with all of our other goals. And it has the date And then we have our communities page, so maybe there's like community updates, where this person completed their goal of running a half marathon. You give them kudos and comments. Another way to be able to just like communicate and connect with other individuals. And I do not have the milestone section yet, but this is another big portion where Claude, I'm hoping the Claude rules will essentially be here, and this is where they'll be edited. But I'm just glad that this is functional and working right now, and this is kind of what I have at the moment. And my goals for the rest of this week is, I'm going to start refining, the milestones page. Like, I need to create this. I need to actually go through and start adding, filling in different placeholders and actually seeing what this would look like. And then kind of like going through and seeing, maybe some user testing to actually see how this would function. So what happens, when they view their profile, what happens after the request is sent, and really just seeing some of those like case studies of what this can actually look like when what I haven't really anticipated yet. And then the other thing is start working again on those avatars and that artwork. It would be nice to have kind of like a little avatar that kind of helps you along, or maybe, that little, almost like their AI buddy in a way, possibly. So I'm still working on that. But I think that is it for now. But yeah, thank you for watching.